how I am. Yes. Welcome back, everyone, to another fantastic product. Billy Mays here.
What product are we selling today?
We're selling Billy's Willy. Billy Mays Willy.
Wow! What can you do with Billy's Willy?
Well, you see, it's like all of his best products combined into one Willy.
Into one.
So you could use it as a scrubber. You know, you could drop it in a pool of dirty water, and it's just OxyClean.
Or you could use it as a nuclear deterrent to establish yourself as a global superpower. Because
exactly.
with those many products combined and so many like utilities, God knows the kind of horrible, like unspeakable war crimes you could get up to with that kind of technology, man.
It's the Tesseract, essentially.
It's like, yeah. It's the
except it's shaped like Billy Mays' cock.
What a way to start. That's great. I like that.
We always get into these silly little hypotheticals.
It's like a Swiss Army knife of incredible destruction, but it's like a completely perfect molded silicone like mold of Billy Mays' cock. Like he must be turning in his grave right now.
Dude, I was thinking, wait, what's the opposite of a fleshlight? And then I'm like, what? It's so obvious.
Are you kidding me? What's the opposite of a fleshlight? Like, I don't know, maybe a dildo?
No, yeah, that word just completely erased from my mind. So, welcome back to the podcast, everyone. We're just a bunch of little wholesome boys, Christian boys, of course.
This is the most Christian of all podcasts. I could say that with sheer confidence, like absolute
definitely
confidence.
more than the episode where we discussed our religious background.
Oh, that's definitely but that was all part of it. You know, it's like religious freedom, and that's what makes us the most religious podcast around. And I could say that with absolute certainty. We have like a streaming awards for it, I think.
I am 1,000,000% sure that you said is true. Yes.
Me too. I'm 1,001% sure.
In fact, we might have even been the Russo brothers in disguise.
What? I mean, dude, I fucking wish I was Joe or Anthony Russo.
Which one would you be, though? That's the question.
Damn, that's a tough pick. Whichever one.
I don't even know. Bro, I know nothing about them. They worked on the Avengers stuff, obviously, and then I think before that
Community.
they did Arrested Development.
Arrested Development, not Community. I've never seen
I think they worked on a Community too.
Maybe.
Oh, really?
No, I've never seen a single episode of Arrested Development.
Dude, I mean, when Netflix picked it up, it obviously like lost some of its spark, but I feel like it's still funny and clever in a different way, you know.
I know Michael Cera's in it and Jason Schwartzman.
Oh, you have to go back and watch the first 3 seasons, because what happened is they did 3 seasons, and this is I'm going to drop it right now. This is my biggest ad for Arrested Development ever. It's on Netflix. Go watch it right now, because it's legit my favorite comedy sitcom show.
Ooh, that's a glowing recommendation.
For real. You see baby Michael Cera? This is like before the Superbad days even.
Yeah. Little
There's
boy
Job, which is spelled Gob, by the way. It's G-O-B, but his name is Job.
Job.
And it's played by Will Arnett. He's like one of my favorites.
I know Jason Schwartzman's in it. I think that's his name.
Yeah, I forgot his name, but he's like the main character. He's all right. Like he's good, but I feel like his character's supposed to be like the serious one, you know, man. Like yeah, exactly. Yeah. The heterosexual man.
That's true. The every show needs its cis white man. That's for sure. It's a criteria.
Especially in the lead, right?
Yeah, especially as the lead role. It's the American way, I would say.
Oh gosh. Well, anyway, I know that they worked on that. It's a great show.
Good joke to get into with everything that's going on right now.
We're already going into it, aren't we? Oh gosh.
No, but fuck, if you recommend it that highly, then I definitely want. I didn't even know it was on Netflix.
Yep. So yeah, what I was gonna say is originally it was on Fox back in like 2005, and everyone slept on it. And then eventually Netflix announced they were gonna renew season 4, and like they put all the episodes on it, and I think that's when it like really started blowing up. Because like back when it was on Fox, it was canceled. Like no one was watching it. But I think it was just ahead of its time, to be honest.
Maybe
like a lot of the jokes
they
make
happen like that, dude.
Yeah.
Where they're just
they were joking about stuff that became funny now. Like, dude, they were making the like Bush buying out houses in the Middle East and shit. They were doing that back in like 2005. It's like, what? But I guess it made sense because he was still president back then. But yeah,
I gotta watch that shit then. I mean, I love Jason Schwartzman as an actor, so I mean, I don't know why I haven't actually got into it. He recently made an adaptation of one of the more recent Stephen King novels, and he made an adaptation of it on HBO called The Outsider. It's actually really good. He
was in that Ozark show too, right?
That one I also haven't seen, Ozark.
I haven't seen it either, but a lot of people have recommended it.
Oh shit! Then I got some.
Fun fact: that show takes place. I don't know if it's in Naperville, Illinois, but the town it was filmed, or it's based off Naperville, Illinois, which is where I used to live back with the Lost Boys.
I thought it took place in Ozark.
Maybe that's what, I don't know. I just know that it's based off Naperville. Yeah, I'm gonna look this up just to fact check because I remember I was living there when the show came out.
Just living and chilling there.
Yeah, it's the main character relocates his family from the Chicago suburb of Naperville. Oh, okay, so they were in Naperville in the beginning of the show.
And
it doesn't take place there. Yeah, exactly.
Ozark is such a strange name for a place, dude.
Well, they go to Osage Beach, Missouri, which is in the Lake of the Ozarks region.
That's what I mean, like Ozark. When I first
it is
saw
very
this
weird
show,
sounding.
I was just like, Ozark. Oh, that just must be like one of these creative titles. And then I look it up and it's a place, and I'm like, who fucking names a place Ozark? What does that even come from? That sounds like an eldritch deity from a fantasy show or something.
That's some Avatar shit.
Yeah.
Fire Lord Ozark.
The great supreme Dark Lord Ozark will be arisen in the second blood moon of 2020. That's what's gonna happen. That's why everything's going to shit. But hell, I guess I got a lot of Jason Schwartzman shit to watch. But
wait, it's Jason Bateman.
Bateman, there we go.
I was thinking that the whole time. I was like, wait a minute. Like, we're off on something.
Yeah, I know. Even when I was saying it in my head, I feel like this isn't entirely right. I know for sure it's Jason, but I think Schwartzman is someone else.
Yeah.
Bateman.
I only remember the other... What's the dude that's on, like... Never mind. Whatever. He's something... Ben Schwartz. That's a guy.
That's the one. I just thought of something incredibly stupid. And like, what? So I don't even know about, I'm gonna fucking say it. I was just thinking a scenario where Jason Bateman, right? He's like in British like royalty. He goes to like visit the Queen, and some butler calls him Master Bateman.
Oh God. Oh no.
I'm sure someone has made that joke before, because it's just too easy. Master Bateman.
Master Bateman, could you masturbate me?
Masturbate me, could you maybe masturbate me and my men?
My men could use you, masturbate me.
Masturbate men to masturbate them. My men could use you, masturbate to masturbate them. We only the highest, like, smartest comedy on this podcast. Our comedy is so very cerebral. As you
we did write Avengers, and
it's true. We are the Russo brothers,
the greatest comedy of all time.
I suppose so. Oh my God, what a wild way to initiate these first like 9 minutes.
Dude, so what happened with fucking Marvel? Like, did like Black Widow get canceled?
I'd imagine it's just all delayed. Like pretty much everything. Have any movies come out like cinema wide recently?
Isn't it like kind of? Well, I'm not saying a conspiracy or anything, but isn't it kind of wild how Avengers perfectly ended, and then afterwards the world just goes to shit? Like they got to finish.
There's nothing left. There's nothing left. There's nothing to look forward to, man.
Oh no!
It's over. It's done. The world's over.
The last one we got was Spider-Man, right? And that's already like out on Blu-ray. So
that was really good. I really liked that fucking movie.
Yeah, I love that, dude. Especially Donnie Darko as Mysterio.
Oh yeah, dude. Man, I remember when they casted him, Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm such a fucking cuck for Jake Gyllenhaal. They like fucking love him. Him and Ryan Reynolds. Even though like I do love them, but they made a movie together called, I don't know if you've seen it, called Life.
Dude, they kind of look like they could be brothers or cousins or something.
I mean, they're supposedly like super best friends, like in real life.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I'm thinking of it, because they definitely feel like they'd have a brotherly bond, if anything.
Yeah, they're constantly together. I still have remember that picture that turned into a meme where it's like Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman who like fucking prank Ryan Reynolds into wearing this horrible Christmas sweater, and he's like super like pissed off in the picture while they're laughing at him. So
we got Mr. Bateman, Master Bateman, and Hugh Jackman, and Master Jackman.
Master Jack.
Oh god, he's the Master Jackman.
They're just like a duo. They're like a dynamic superhero duo where it's just like whenever
I don't know why I picture Keanu being like their wise uncle too.
Oh, their trainer.
Yeah, Keanu somehow fits into that equation.
Somehow, just because we want him to. There's like no like sexual innuendo in his name. We just want him to be in there.
Of course.
Talking about him, I saw they released a trailer for like the new Bill and Ted movie.
Oh, that's happening.
Yeah. Like, I just saw the trailer, like, today on YouTube, and I'm just like, oh, wow, it is actually happening.
Yeah, I thought that was one of those things that was, like, a rumor for so long that they would never go through with it, but...
I knew it was happening, but they didn't really release any details of, like, when it was going to release, or at least not that I knew of, so it came as a complete surprise. But... I'm going to watch it. It definitely still looks like that very corny Bill and Ted, like, whoa, kind of humor, but I'm going to watch it anyway. Just because I love Keanu. I'll support anything he does. Even if he destroys the world, becomes a horrible racist, I'll back him.
Keanu's that one person that you're just like, yes.
No, he can do no wrong in my eyes. Doesn't matter. He can literally commit global genocide and I'll still be like, I love you, Keanu. You're great. They had it coming.
And now you understand the mindset of... Trump supporters.
I guess so, yeah. Look at that. I get you now.
See, we can all relate in the end, guys. We can all come together, no matter your point of view.
Okay.
We can all come together on Master Bateman's couch.
That's true. We're so fucking stupid today. I think it's the weather. Oh, talking about the weather, where was it? I don't remember what city. I gotta look it up. It's snowing in June somewhere in the States.
Oh, shit. I have not here. It's been hot as frick here, dude.
Yeah, but that's what I'm also thinking. Like, who's going to argue about climate change now, dude, when it's like snowing in the middle of June in like the middle of the U.S.? I got to find this. I have no idea. It's
snowing in Colorado.
That's where it is?
That's what it says right here. Yeah. It's June and it's snowing in Colorado. But I mean, there's mountains there. It could be like a mountain town.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I feel like it wouldn't be news unless it was in a place where this doesn't usually happen. You think?
It says...
Oh, here we go.
Dude, Snow in June. This news website legit is admitting that it's clickbait. Well, go ahead first. Then I'll tell you what I found.
I just saw a video on it, but I haven't read any articles. Snowing is falling in June
this article
in the
says...
of Centennial State. So yeah, it's in the mountains. Why are they reporting it like it's some big deal, though?
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's just clickbait, bro. Every news, like, they need the ad revenue. But I mean, that is still crazy because
it is. But it's June. Like a lot of snowfall too, dude. It's like everything's fogged up, everything's covered in white. That still feels like pretty crazy, considering it's June. But oh well. I mean, shit's wild, man. It's 2020.
I've been saying for a long time, like, I don't know if it's ever since I moved out of Florida. Because, I mean, Puerto Rico and Florida are pretty similar climate-wise, right? Like,
except Florida tends to be a little bit more humid in certain areas because it's so swampy.
Yeah, and if anything, I think Florida gets slightly hotter in the summer, too.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but maybe because it's less... I don't know. Anyway, when I moved to the Midwest, I thought it was just a Midwest thing, but it's been getting worse every year to where I'm convinced that the seasons are, like, delayed now.
I mean, I remember reading a report recently saying that winters are getting dramatically shorter and summers are getting much longer.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel the opposite. See, I feel the year, at least here in Chicago, the last 3 or 4 years has been basically... I'll start from winter because that's how I remember it. It would start around like October to November. It starts getting cold. So that would be like fall would be like just October. And then from November all the way till like April, it's just winter. And then finally in May, you have like a small spring. And now suddenly in June, like it's just summer now for like the next 3 months. And then it's just going to go back to winter.
I mean, you guys are very like, close up to all that Canada area and shit.
Yeah.
Where, like,
so that's what I'm saying. I think it's a Midwest thing, but like winter here feels like it's like 6 or 7 months sometimes, dude.
And it gets
and obviously
dreary.
the whole time it's not, blizzarding or like 0 degrees, but it's like it feels like winter.
I mean, I was there for the time I was there. It was a pretty dreary winter, but I think that was mostly having to do with the whole COVID situation. It made everything a lot more fucking dark and depressing.
Yeah.
That was like the whole atmosphere whenever we would actually go outside.
You weren't here during the snowstorm, right? You were here for the snow, but not like the storm?
No, not the storm, no.
There was only one big one, I think, this year, but we got like a lot.
It got my flight delayed. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
The snowstorm. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't there at the time for it. But oh well.
Hey, at least we got to have our little scuffle in the snow.
That's true. That's true.
Like, I don't know if for you, because for me, like, I didn't get to see snow until, I think, 6th grade. And I was still a little kid, like, 6th grade, man. If you want to tell me you're a big kid at 6th grade, man, shut the fuck up, all right?
You're not
you're
a big
a little
kid
baby,
at
all right?
Yeah.
So I was maybe first year of middle school, and that was the first time I ever saw snow. And I went to the back, like, where the basketball, like, basically the backyard of our school. It was like a big lot, and me and my sister just played in it for like 3 hours.
That's so adorable, man. It's so fucking
I don't know
cute.
I feel like if you've never had that moment in your life, even if you're like a full grown ass adult now, like you're gonna have that at some point. Yeah. When you first see snow.
Everybody likes to play at the snow at some point. I mean, the first time I saw snow, I was too young to remember. Like, I was a little, like, baby boy. I was maybe like 5 or 6.
Well, aren't you lucky?
No, not really, because I don't remember. Like, and then after that, I think I was like pretty much like you. It wasn't until like maybe the 6th grade until I saw snow again, and it was only for like 1 day, so I didn't get to play in it much. And then I hadn't like gone to a cold state like that until I went to Chicago.
Mm.
So it was.
So had you ever had a snowball fight?
No. That one we did was the first time I ever had a snowball fight.
No wonder you threw that shit so hard at me, dude. You were like...
Yeah, I was trying to fucking knock your head off, man.
That was like real. Like, I felt it, in your heart. You were
like
giddy,
accident.
but you were also like... You had the killer eyes, the killer instinct.
I had the bloodlust. Like, all I saw was white, and it wasn't the snow. It was just me blanking out and going into just murder mode. It was fun. I had a great time. Kind of how I get into when people start fucking inting in my League of Legends games.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You just get into that bloodlust going?
Just into that white hot fury and rage.
What's the Tyler 1 drink thing called? Okay, we're not giving him the sponsor because we don't even know the name.
I don't even know the name of Tyler.
I think it's literally Draven's ability.
I don't even know that.
Blood? Yeah, I don't know either. It's Blood Rage or
Blood Rush.
Anyway. Blood Rush.
Blood Rush. That's the one.
Blood starts
I remember
rushing.
That video I drank too much Blood Rush. Yeah, now I remember. I didn't know that was his drink. I didn't even know he had a drink.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's T-mother-freaking-1, dude. He's got a... I don't know. He has that.
I mean, he needs to have it. How many times... Before I get into my reason on why I bring up League inting, how many times has Tyler been banned?
In the early days, a lot. I don't know about anymore.
Well, definitely not anymore, because now he's like fucking League icon.
Yeah.
I feel like unless he says something horribly racist or fucked up, I think he's untouchable.
I mean, yeah, this last week he's been he came back really strong because I guess, I don't know if you know, obviously he played AD carry. He got known for playing Draven, but he's been recently trying to prove that jungle is easy.
Easy, yeah.
And he took up against all the biggest junglers like Tarzan, Night Blue, and he's like, all right, you guys are all actually shit, and I'm going to prove it. And he got off stream for a while, and now he's top 200 playing exclusively jungle.
Damn, did he just
so
prove
he came
that
back to
jungling
stream
is the easiest?
I think he just proved he's a good player, dude. That's it.
Yeah.
No matter the toxicity, he's just really good at the game, And he came back and he had like 30K plus.
I feel if you're really good at like micro, macro play and fundamentals, you can inhabit any role in League. Because then all you have to do is learn the niches of that role, and then you're just good. Because you're good at the base game. And that's like the most important
before
part.
we get too deep into it, since I think we're going to go down a little League hole anyway, if you guys have never played League, it's a great game. Amazing,
New game.
amazing
it came
times
out recently.
that we've had.
It's gotten really popular very quickly.
When was the first time you played League? That's where I wanted to start it.
The first time I played League was the first time you played League.
Oh.
I remember you called me on the phone to tell me about it. It was a long time ago.
Really?
So whenever you started, I started.
So I told you about it, but we never played.
No, we never played together because I could never... Like, I remember when I first started it, my computer wasn't strong enough.
Oh.
And my internet was shit. And then when I finally got a better computer, like, you weren't playing as much. And I started just playing like by myself. I feel like we didn't start playing League together until like I was in college.
Yeah, no, that's why I found it weird that when you told me, like, even when we went to Austin together and you were playing it, I was like, what the, like, it just felt like shocking to me that you played that much.
Yeah, I dude, like season 4 in like my old account, like old account, my first account that I can never remember the login info because I used it on like a really old Hotmail email that I don't remember at all. I got like plat in season 4.
Damn.
Playing like Ka Mid.
What the heck?
Yeah, when like Ka Mid was a thing with Black Cleaver, like the old Black Cleaver.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I remember those days.
And I got plat with that.
It's just so weird, man, because like these are characters that have now existed, some of them, for like almost 10 years,
Yeah. And
they've gone through so much evolution. Well, that's not even a pun because Kha'Zix is all about evolution. But like literally, he's now exclusively you only see him jungle. So it's so weird to think he did start as a mid laner. I forgot about that.
Well, he started as a jungler, but he was also stupid good at mid lane. So people would just like off meta play him in mid lane with Black Cleaver.
I mean, like in competitive, people would play him mostly mid. I think. Mid. Like I remember Alex Each. He was a Russian player. I think he played in NA too for a little bit, but he was famous for being on the Moscow 5 team. And one of the most famous like Kha'Zix plays was him getting like the quadra kill jump, with the resets.
I remember that play, dude.
That was crazy.
So hard. But before Ka, I was like a Nocturne main. And I played for a while. And then like after season 4, I dropped off because that's when I like started getting to college. And I didn't play for years and years and years. And I came back in season 7.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I don't know. I never got to have the full college experience, but I feel like if you just play League through your school days, bro, to your college days, like, I don't know. You're doing something wrong.
Yeah, you're doing something wrong. So I completely abandoned it for like 3 years. And then I got back into it in season 7. And it was like a completely new game to me, dude. Now there was like fucking armor piercing became like, armor pen became lethality. There was a whole bunch of champions I didn't know about. I literally felt like I was starting over, dude. I was trash at it again. And then I had to.
I wonder if like League could make not an argument, but how they stack up compared to other online games in terms of like maintaining popularity for so long.
I mean, dude,
because if anything, it's only gotten bigger.
Yeah, and I mean, now that they've released the other spin-offs like Legend of Runeterra, TFT got bigger than I ever expected. And like now they're gonna do they've got Valorant now, but that doesn't have to do with League. But they're also doing like the fighting game and the dungeon crawler.
But I think Valorant still brings some exposure to League, just because it's Riot Games.
And League has always been the top in streaming platforms, always. Like I've never seen it drop under top 5 ever. If it's not number 1, it's true. Usually like number 2 or number 3 for what 10 years.
It's crazy. Ever since the season 2 World Championship, which was 2012 maybe? Yeah. 8 years, dude. League has been at the top.
It's insane that they got to be doing something right, dude. I'll tell you what they're not doing right. Keeping their fucking toxic players in line.
Oh no.
That's the one thing they're not doing right.
Does that include you?
Yes, that includes me. I should be
They're
permanently
not keeping
banned
you
from
in
the
line.
game to free me from this fucking addiction.
Oh gosh.
I'm like Tyler here, but I can't stop because I'm fucking addicted.
It's the truth, dude.
It's just like, here's the thing about me. I absolutely hate the community, but I just love the game. That's the thing with it. Like, I don't like the people who play it, but I really do enjoy the game.
I feel the same. Like, there's never been an online game ever that has, like, captivated me like League. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the gameplay that, like, because it's simple but really complicated at the same time. I guess the best way to describe it's like it's easy to pick up but hard to master, you know?
I suppose. I mean, I think it's just
there's
like
just so many little things that you could always improve on.
When you do good, you feel so fulfilled. And I think it's just that dopamine rush that really gets you fucking addicted. Where like when you do good at it, you feel like such a monster. Because it takes much.
Like, I feel like people get that from like FPS games or any other type of competitive game, but I've never felt it until this game. Even
For
like
me,
Pokemon,
dude.
It's weird. I don't know. I would play like competitive Pokemon and maybe I never got that good, so it wasn't the same, but I never felt that like when I did a crazy play in Pokemon, I don't know, I guess it's a smaller dopamine effect, you're just like, oh, that was cool. But
I think it's because with Twitch shooters and things like, other games like that, the only other type of game where I feel the same kind of fulfillment is fighting games. And I think it has to do with the level of control that you have over the outcome of how the game goes. When I used to play Call of Duty and I used to be good at it, I never felt as fulfilled because I felt like no matter how well I played, there was always going to be this variable of I could literally just be in the wrong place at the wrong time, completely out of my control, and all it takes is like one well-placed sniper shot to completely stop my snowballing. And it doesn't really have to do... And the same thing can be said with Pokemon, because there is a luck factor in Pokemon when it comes to like status effects and all that kind of stuff. And the same thing with like card games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic or whatever. It's all dependent on the luck of the draw, of whether you get a good hand. Like, you could definitely set up your deck in a way where you could constantly do something, but there will always be that degree of whether you get lucky or not, that you actually draw the combo at the right time and blah, blah, blah. Where I feel like things like League and fighting games, it's completely and entirely dependent on your foresight and your knowledge of the game in order for you to come out on top. Because more often than not, if you get screwed, it was because of a miscalculation or bad judgment on your part. When it comes to a play you did, there's still that variable in League where like your teammates could completely just int and tilt and feed and
well, that's the big difference between that and fighting games. Like a fighting game is usually just you, but League there's teammates that could mess you up.
Yeah,
but there's also that similarity where if you're playing your best game and you're just outclassed the opponent, they're not going to have much of a chance to beat you back, like, because you're building a lead, which I guess is something that's not. I guess Pokemon has to an extent. Like if you have 4 Pokemon, they only have 2. The chances of them winning at that point is kind of harder. But I guess in like a shooting game, that wouldn't be the case. Like no matter what, you could always just get one shot.
Yeah, especially in Twitch shooters, dude. Like Call of Duty now, where it's just like it literally feels like whoever gets the first shot in is gonna win. Unless they're a terrible shot, but like it's like literally if someone shoots you in the back, you have no way of turning it around at all in games like Call of Duty, unless you're like in the right spot to turn a corner and like lose him and all that stuff. But more often than not, if you get shot in the back, you're dead. It wasn't like Halo. That's why I kind of liked Halo, because it had that armor functionality where if someone started shooting you in the back, you had a little bit more time to like find a way to get out of the situation, because they had to shred through your armor first and then shred through your HP. And I think that's the same thing with like League, where you could get caught maybe in a bad play and you still have a chance to turn it around. Even if it's a low chance, it's still there. You could still find a way out of your predicament. And I feel like it's kind of like, we were talking about how like streamers nowadays are playing chess for some reason. I feel like it's just a very complex and more fun chess game, where you really have to like look at your opponent, know what the perks of their champions and their team comp is, and start like building your strategy and how you're going to go about the game right from the start in order to win it. You know, I feel like there's definitely less of a space to like just wing it in League games, where like ultimately the person who has the more knowledge, the more like adaptability and the foresight is going to come out ahead. And I feel like that's a fulfilling feeling with games like League, because it feels like it was entirely in your hands, and it was entirely thanks to your skill and your ability that you came out on top.
Yeah, and despite being a team game, there's definitely those moments. Like sometimes, sure, you might be the guy that got carried, but like when you have those games where you legit feel like even if you didn't solo carry it, like you contributed, you know, you helped to get your team there. It's like, it does
getting
feel
the
really
dragons
rewarding.
and getting the heralds and split pushing towers, where you might not be the guy who's completely stomping in team fights and getting all the kills, but the other guy is able to stomp in team fights and get all the kills because he doesn't have to worry about securing all the other objectives or split pushing and all that stuff. So there's definitely more ways than one to feel like you're fucking doing something in the game. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's the people who don't give a shit, who all they care about is just like getting the kills and thinking they're monsters even if they lose. But I digress. That's another thing.
Yeah, I guess I feel like still some people might get that same effect from like shooter games, especially nowadays with the battle royales or the team fight ones like CSGO or like Valorant, because you can legit in those games, even though there is a lot of bullshit, you know, just like you could get sniped or whatever. Like if you're a really good player, you can like 1v5 your team or carry or whatever. Yeah. There's a lot of like those types of moments, I feel. That's and I'm sure in that moment, like, yeah, the pro players for that, dude, I don't know. That's why I wish I could get more into it to at least understand the pro play. Because I feel like there's going to be, whenever Valorant starts doing pro stuff, there's going to be so many crazy, like, plays.
Yeah, but I don't want to get addicted to Adderall, so I might as well stay away.
you're content with your...
with being shit at first-person shooters.
Melatonin. That's League melatonin.
Dude, I'm just like... It's such a thing how bad I started becoming at shooters. I'm still okay at Halo, but I remember when I was a kid, when I was like 11 and 12, I was so good at shooters because I had that Twitch energy, you know, where I could like fucking turn on a dime and just like things would come out. I would see the exact frame when someone would come around the corner and I was already locked on them. You know, my reaction time was that fast. Nowadays, I feel a crippled old war veteran who's just like a shadow of a former self whenever I play shit like Call of Duty.
I feel that even with League, dude. I feel like I'm getting the boomer fingers now.
Really? I feel like I've gotten
like I can see a play happen. I can see what I'm supposed to do, and then I just fumble it. I don't know.
I feel like that happens a lot when we play norms. Or when we're just like
to be honest, it only happens to me when I'm playing a character that I'm not as experienced as.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've always, like everyone has their play style in League, right? I've always mained AD carry bot lane. But one thing that I say I stand out is instead of like being a 1 or 2 trick, my thing in League has always been to try to know every single champion, even if it's on a very basic level, except Teemo. I've never played that little shit. I never will. Anyway.
Me neither, dude. I've never.
Aside from like 5 champions, I feel like I can right now get in a game and I would know how to play every single champ. You know, maybe not good, but like, you know, I can play them and maybe win. Probably.
I guess I'm the opposite, dude. I'm just like, I really do have my champion pool, and like whenever I pick up a new champion in that pool, I make sure I feel that I'm just like, I'm completely and entirely competent with them, even if they're not like my main one trick, which is Kha'Zix. Like I could pick up Kha'Zix no matter how long I go without playing them, and I'll still stomp. But I definitely have my pool, which I started saying like in League of Legends, I think I might be a furry because most of them are animals.
Oh God!
Like I mean, I got Kha'Zix, I got Warwick,
I got Bully Bear.
Like there's a lot of animals. The only other ones I play that are like humanoids are like Evelyn and Kane.
And even then, Evelyn's got a little something freaky going on to her.
Yeah, a little something freaky deaky going on. And I play Fiddlesticks now too. That's a recent pickup.
Damn, you just play the demons and the
I play
beast,
all the
dude.
scary
Whoa.
shit. I play all the like scary, like animalistic
Nocturne too?
shit.
Oh my god.
It's like in
What's wrong
real
with
life,
you?
I'm such just like a very wholesome, just like, yay, everybody love each other. Let's be funny. And then in League of Legends, I play all the fucking like psychopathic,
The most-
murderous like beasts. I guess that says something about my personality. I guess I transferred my Gemini second sociopath personality into League.
Dude, I don't know what it would say about me then, because like legit, my two favorite characters are Lucian and Echo.
You're a black
I mean,
man
Echo,
on
I
the
can.
inside.
I think Echo I can relate to because he's literally just like a kid from the slums, you know? Like that's his
Yeah.
story in the game. And I wasn't quite from the slums, but you know, I feel like most people from Puerto Rico, like you don't really, I don't know, it's not always like,
Yeah.
what's
It's
the
not
word,
high-
you know?
high
Life
living,
ain't,
you know?
yeah, you
It
ain't living
ain't
a glam
bougie
life
for
out
you.
here, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
And
for
like
sure.
he was able to just with his pure skills like make something of himself, and that's a story I think a lot of people can relate to.
Yeah.
Lucian, I don't know, bro. Lucian's just cool, you know. He's just shooting
Lucian
fucking
is
demons.
just awesome.
and-
Yeah. That's definitely it. Like I could, you know what? I'll indulge in you there. I definitely can say I relate to Kha'Zix. You know, it's for me. It's just all about fighting all the strongest enemies, consuming them, and adapting myself.
Yeah,
in a
change is
stronger
good,
way.
right?
Yeah, change is good. Just evolve yourself, man. Just like use people however you have to use them, consume their skills, and then leave their dried up corpse while you progress in them. I just think he's cool, man. He's just a
Oh,
fucking cool
God.
bug. Just think
Imagine if you just like you weren't satisfied with your performance, you know, and you're just like, all right, let me just evolve my dick real quick.
Yeah. I mean, why do you think we look so alike? I've just been slowly just sapping away your life force and. Like,
Oh, God.
Why do you think
You're
you
evolving
found that,
to look like me.
Yeah, why do you think you found that weird like snake skin looking thing in your closet? That was me molting and shedding.
I just thought that was like the pet snake farm that you keep.
my used condom. It's just like, why does it look like a
Oh
person?
yeah, no, it felt appropriately
You
sized.
can't have too much protection, you know. Just cover the whole thing. All of you.
Oh gosh.
You don't want to get you don't want to get the herp in your pits or in your elbows or in your knees. Might as well cover it all.
So
up.
was Halo like? Was that the main game you played? Like, because I know you've always been a huge fan of the franchise. I don't know if it's your favorite franchise.
Well, it's okay.
We're going down a different hole now. Oh no.
It's a very sad thing, man. Like,
Well, look, let's get this all out, and then maybe we can figure out with your past experience with Halo how you can beat your League addiction.
it's just, God, I loved, and it's sad to say it in a past tense, but I loved Halo so much, dude. I remember playing the first one when I was little, and like, I loved consuming anything that was Halo, shit like Red versus Blue and all that shit, and I played all of them. I was super addicted to Halo 2 and Halo 3 multiplayer when I was a little kid. Then Reach came out and I was super addicted to that. And then Bungie left.
Oh no. Bungie has left the chat.
And 343 took over. And I was hopeful, dude. I was just like, oh, they've been around. It's not like they're absolute newcomers. They've been handling
Didn't they make
multiplayer.
Reach or ODST or one of those?
They did. They handled the multiplayer for Reach, I think it was.
Oh.
And maybe even Halo 3. I'm not sure how long they've been around, but they've been around. So I was confident. I was just like, yeah, okay. And then Halo 4 came out. And I liked the story, but there were definitely elements about it where I'm just like, I don't know. And I didn't really like the Promethean enemies too much. And then the multiplayer I did not like the Halo 4 multiplayer at all. I did not. And I tried my best to like it. I played it a lot with my friends, but it just wasn't it. And then, people were just like, okay, it was their first game, rocky start. Let's see what they have with Halo 5. Halo 5 came out, and it was like they did a complete 180.
In the wrong direction.
The story was absolute hot garbage.
Oh no.
And even before that, they just set themselves up for failure because their marketing was completely deceptive, dude. The game they sold was not the game that came, like the game they were selling was not the game they actually sold. Like the whole marketing was about like, oh, Chief defecting and Locke hunting him down, and it was going to be Locke versus Chief.
And Chief was like barely in it.
Yeah, and then Chief was like barely in it, and like the whole hunting Chief backstory was resolved in an instant, and the whole game just ended up being Cortana's evil, and she's trying to get these machines, and she like commits like galactic genocide. I'm just like, wait, what the fuck?
Cortana? Why?
Yeah, Cortana like died in 4. They brought her back evil in 5, and then the whole Chief versus Locke thing was a complete like red herring.
Bro, I thought she died and became Microsoft assistant. Like what?
And it was...
Isn't that what they call Microsoft Siri? It's Cortana, right?
I think they discontinued that. Or they're going to.
Cortana permissions is a thing right now in my Windows, but I don't think I have it activated.
But it was just complete shit, and then the multiplayer was amazing. I love the Halo 5 multiplayer. But
okay.
The fans suck.
I was like, wait, where was the 180? Because
the 180 was Halo 4 had a great story.
Yeah,
and
the story sucked in 5, and the multiplayer was
all right. And the multiplayer was great. And then people were just giving them shit like, oh, why did they add sprinting? Sprinting is the worst thing in Halo. Very superficial garbage. And like, oh, Halo's bad because it stopped doing the old art style. You know, very subjective garbage shit. No, Halo's bad because they hired a shit writer. And that's why Halo is bad. The multiplayer was great, but I felt like I definitely was more into Halo because of the story, and it completely broke my heart. So I can't say I'm exactly excited for Infinite.
I think from like I've always been a fan of Halo, but it never like that into it, you know. So from a outsider perspective, I would say I didn't even know Halo 5 came out.
Yeah, dude, I remember I was talking to you about Halo 5, and you're like, there was a 5?
Because look, I knew that 4, you know, like Bungie left because they went to go do Destiny and whatever, and then I felt like it just really fell off with 4. So whenever it came to 5, I legit thought it was just in development hell. Like I thought it was still like not a thing.
I don't know, dude. It's just like I don't know what happened. Like Infinite's
well, that's what I mean. Like from an outsider,
man.
I think from people that aren't big into Halo, I think they might have seen it like me. Like 4 came out and it wasn't that good, so like we just kind of forgot about it after that.
That's kind of like a testament to it in itself. The fact that now nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, no, it sucks because I feel like it could have been just as successful as Call of Duty in terms of like staying relevant. It was such a staple
of gaming, and now it's relegated to an afterthought.
Same thing happened with Gear. It happens even worse with Gears.
Oh,
like people
even
just
worse with Gear.
Do not like Gears at all now. But
after 3,
I feel like they all 3 could have become staple shooters. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just change is good. Obviously, Call of Duty, like they do very minimal changes, but they do enough to keep people coming back. And I think Halo maybe went too far. I mean, I don't know for certain the details. You know better than me, but maybe because
it was a story that killed it, dude. Because at the end of the day, here's the comparison with Call of Duty. Call of Duty's story does not fucking matter.
No, exactly. It's the complete opposite. People come back just because they want to shoot people.
Exactly. But
and
Halo's
I think what
a combination.
Halo was always known for that. Like they were, at least when I remember growing up in like middle school and stuff, people, when Halo 3 came out, bro, every kid in my class could not stop talking about like the Flood and like the Covenant or whatever. And I had no idea what the hell they were talking about, but I'm like, damn, I need to play this game. And it is not like that anymore, bro. No one cares about whatever happened in 4.
This is what it is,
or
dude.
I guess
it's
5. Like
the protagonist of Halo, if your protagonist isn't good anymore because of the story, then what does it matter? And, you know, Call of Duty is surviving because the protagonist of Halo is Master Chief, and the protagonist of Call of Duty is the intervention sniper. You know, that's where the distinction is. And the identity of Call of Duty is just in its multiplayer. As long as its multiplayer is good enough, it's going to survive. But since Halo dropped the ball on its story, people kind of just went like, well, Halo's done. It's dead.
Damn.
And the same thing happened with Gears, man. Yeah, Gears had a pretty good multiplayer when it first came out, but people really liked the story. And once it was finished, once Gears 3 happened, people didn't really see a reason for it to continue, and it continued anyways. And obviously, people didn't give a shit because they felt it was unnecessary to continue the Gears story. And I pretty much second that because I was a big fan of the Gears story, and I felt like 3 was just a good way to end it.
Was Halo 3 a good ending?
It was. I feel like now with hindsight, if they would have stopped in 3, I feel like it would have left Halo in a much better place. But Halo 3 did kind of end in a cliffhanger. Where, like, just...
would you say they just left it open just in case? Like, maybe they were trying to close off the trilogy, but just in case they left some loose ends? Or was it, like, legit a cliffhanger?
100%, because the ending is just, like, Cortana and Chief floating in space in half of a ship. He goes into stasis and says, "Wake me when you need me." Yeah. It's like the most open ending of all time.
They left it so that Chief could go on whatever adventure he wants to next, but that trilogy, that saga was done with. So
done. It was done.
It could have been over, and it would have been sad, but I guess we'll never know if it would have been better or not.
I mean, Infinite is their last chance. I'm not completely done with Halo yet. They have, but I'm definitely not as excited as I used to be. I'll always love it, but it's definitely kind of like what happened with Game of Thrones, where they're not there yet, but it could happen. Where oh no, I loved it, and then they just dropped the ball. Infinite is their last chance to course correct.
Anything but the Game of Thrones effect.
Yeah, Infinite is definitely their last chance to course correct.
So basically, I was going to wrap it back to League, but I don't know. I feel like I was going to say something about Halo still, that I think if, in a hypothetical alternate timeline, if they had left it off at 3, and then, I mean, the thing is Bungie wanted to do other stuff. That was clear. I think they were just, understandably, after you do so much of one franchise, you want to do other stuff.
But they did the worst thing with fucking partnering up with Activision. If you want to try anything fucking new.
Whew. Yeah, no, that
didn't work out too well for them.
Only thing worse than that would be partnering with EA, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. That's the next step and worse.
But imagine a world where Halo 3 would have been it, and then they wouldn't have discontinued it, but maybe they just did side content or just not the games, but keep doing comic books or movies or side stories.
They actually have still been doing books, but they haven't been all that great either. But it's
I guess what I'm leading up to is
spin-offs.
Out of nowhere, boom, Halo Battle Royale, baby.
Oh God, I hope not. I think they said that Infinite wouldn't have a Battle Royale game mode, so at least
I think it would be pretty cool. I'm not I don't know, maybe because I haven't played as much Battle Royales as many other people, so probably everyone else is burnt out. But just thinking back to Halo 3 was the one I mainly played. Thinking back to the 16-man multiplayer and that.
Yeah, big team battle.
It was so chaotic and so fun, dude. I would love to see a 100-man map, even if it's not Battle Royale, but just a 100-man Halo War. That'd be sick.
That would be actually pretty interesting. Now that I see it through that lens. Because big team battle is definitely one of my favorite. Oh shit, I dropped it.
Dude, I have vivid memory still of the desert map. I don't remember what it was called, but there was the big
one with
crash
the mammoth
ship.
Or the elephant?
Yeah, and there was, you could be on the big ass tank with 4 people manning the cannons and stuff. Yeah. It was sick.
It was great. But,
And I mean, Halo Wars came, that was a thing, but obviously it was RTS. A strategy game. Yeah.
I loved the first Halo Wars. Halo Wars 2 I never actually played, but I heard it wasn't that good.
I guess more than Battle Royale, I picture Battlefield, but Halo. I think it'd be pretty cool. But I mean, that's just a hypothetical,
Let's see what Infinite does. But at the end of the day, I guess that just all comes around. If there was a hypothetical situation where Halo was still good, would I be addicted to League? Probably, yeah. Probably still. I'm not going to lie to you.
No. Well, I was actually going to connect it a different way. I was going to say, so the only way that we can beat your League addiction is if somehow Riot hands the game to some other company and they just say, all right, F all these characters that you've built up for years. We're just going to make our own new roster. So basically Valorant.
I guess
if
so.
League became Valorant, then you would stop playing.
Maybe so. I mean, if League ever just shuts down, I'm free. I'm free, and so many other people are free. But I don't know, man. I mean, League has been testing me recently, though. I won't lie to you. But it's less League itself, and it's just the community. Where it's just, I mean, here's a story for our little listeners.
So what happened, Gabe? Take a seat. Tell us what happened recently in your solo queue games.
So let's get into this. The irate gamer. I'm fucking pissed off. League. What is this game? A fucking fart?
What a load of poopy dog shit.
What a load of fucking diarrhea tarantula leg hair up my anus hole. This game fucking sucks bullshit. I would rather tell my parents I love them than play this game. I would rather
I would rather dip Pickle Rick in a vat of vagina fluid. Okay, maybe that'd be kind of hot.
And
actually,
stick it in my ear. I would rather lovingly come in my in all my friends' eyes than play this game.
Okay, that's enough now.
What do you mean? That's how all the boys fucking do. Okay, so basically what happened, just for context, I hadn't played Summoner's Rift in like 2 weeks before this happened. I was pretty much only playing TFT because that's how I was getting my tokens and I was trying to finish the pass. Mm-hmm. As soon as I get back into Summoner's Rift, for after 2 weeks, I play one game with a friend of mine, and in that game, we're taking dragons. Dude, it's only like, I think, 8 minutes into the match or something, maybe 10 minutes. We're going for the first dragon, me and my friend, who's playing support bot lane. So you would think that her AD carry would come and help us take dragon. It was completely free. No one was there, right? But no, he stays in lane, obviously giving away that if the support's not there, then she's probably helping with an objective. So the bot lane, the enemy bot lane, leaves our ADC alone and comes to attack us, and the jungler comes, steals the dragon, and kills us both. While the ADC is just chilling in lane, a Draven taking CS. Seeing this whole thing happen while we pinged him multiple times, right? That's the context. As soon as we revive, we just ask him normally. We don't even flame on him or anything. We just say, hey, dude, why'd you ignore our pings? And according to him, he was just like, that was a bad time to take dragon. And we explained to him, clearly it wasn't a bad time because your laners had just backed. Your support came to help. All you had to do was come with us, and we would have taken it faster than they would have respawned and gotten to us. Right? We explained it very logically. We didn't flame
I mean,
them.
that's the thing is, the other person can never be wrong. Especially an AD carry. Come on, dude. This is basic.
I fucked up on that part. Honestly, I deserved what happened to me. With that in consideration now.
Because he didn't want to help you. Obviously, it's your fault.
It's obviously my fault. Yeah, because I'm not him, so I don't understand. He was
Exactly.
Exactly. He was within his rights, now that I think about it. But to conclude the story, after we explained that to him, super chill, no insults, not calling him dumb, nothing. He responds with, talk at me again, and I'm gonna feed. I'm gonna throw.
Whoa. And dude, people are just so frail. Like, oh my god. And they pretend ridiculous. That they're so hard.
And just like a little, someone just questioning their decision is enough for them to go like, fuck it, I'm throwing the game. 10 minutes in. And like, all we type is just like, you know what, dude? Fine. Do whatever you want. We didn't even tell him like, no, fuck you. I don't care. Or we didn't get, go ahead, throw. No, we just said, you know what? Fine. Do whatever you want. In other words, just saying like, okay, fine. It's fine that you didn't help us. Whatever.
You're going to be a bitch? All right, go ahead.
It's just like, do whatever you want. And he said, okay. And then he proceeded to leave lane and run it down mid for the rest of the game.
Oh, no.
And when we saw him doing that, we didn't say anything. Me and my friend were in our Discord chat. We were saying like, whatever, we'll just wait for the surrender vote and we'll get to the next game. Until he started all chatting to the enemy team, lying that we flamed him and we cursed at him and we were sending hate speech. in order for the enemy team to get them to report us. And all I did the entire time was just like explain, like, no, that's not what happened. This, and this happened. He's just trying to get me like ban spammed, like report spammed. And like, he just, a back and forth ensued. Where I guess, quote unquote, I dropped the ball was saying like, dude, no one flamed you. No one was against you. All we did was ask you a question. That doesn't give people a justification. Like, asking someone a question doesn't justify the other person to be a jackass. So I didn't even directly call him a jackass. Like, I didn't say, hey, you jackass. I was saying, hypothetically, asking someone a question isn't an excuse for the other person to respond like a jackass.
Oh, man.
And then, like, he eventually admitted, dude, like in all chat, he eventually said, no, yeah, it's true. He asked me this thing and I didn't want to deal with this shit, so I decided to throw because I hate him and I want to make this a bad experience for him. Word for word, that's what he typed in all chat.
Bro.
Openly admitting that he threw just because he wanted to ruin the game for me, specifically. Mm-hmm. And I was completely taken aback. At that point, I stopped arguing with him. I was just like, all right, you're just petty for petty's sake. I'm done with you. We're just going to wait for the surrender vote. And then, like, he kept going and going and going. Eventually, like, we found out that the other two players, the mid laner and the top laner, were in a, trio playing with him. And then someone in the enemy team decided to be a troll and report us both just because. Like, he literally said, just because. I'm just going to report you both. And
oh my god,
he kept arguing in the after the game chat. He kept saying like, just like, doing the petty thing. And then I get out of the game and boom, I get a message that I'm banned for 2 weeks.
Instant feedback.
It wasn't even a couple of hours.
No way.
The next day.
Oh my god.
Instant feedback. I was banned for 2 weeks. My first ban ever was already a 2-week ban.
And it was from telling someone why weren't they at Dragon?
Yeah, for hypothetically calling someone a jackass.
I mean, even if you had done it directly, I feel like jackass is like some baby, like,
it's baby shit.
That's
It's like acting like if I said I'm gonna murder his parents in their sleep or something. I just called him a jackass.
Like, even as far as curse words work, like, I don't think in an online game rated like PG-13 or whatever, you should still be able to cuss. They shouldn't even ban you for that. Like, a jackass is one of the least harmful things I ever heard. Like, dude,
I've seen people straight up like fucking.
Even like a fucking idiot sounds harsher than that, Like,
exactly, dude. And I've seen people spew horrible septic demon words out of their mouth in all chat, and they don't get banned.
Exactly. That's my point. But the system is built for certain trigger words. I never expected jackass would be in there. Like,
it's so.
That's just an MTV show.
It's so ridiculous, dude. And like, I was pissed. I was legit pissed because like, even in the after the game chat, he said it himself. I don't care if I get banned as long as you get banned too. So, like, it's further proving that these people who are toxic in this game don't care about consequences. All they care is about dragging other people down with him. Oh, and to add a cherry on top, there was a point in the chat where he openly admitted that he's only throwing games because he can't get away with flaming. Oh, so, in other words, if he wouldn't have thrown the game, he would have just flamed us all game. If he could get away with it. He's literally saying, as long as I get away with a toxic behavior, I'm gonna do it.
Bro, the system is just, it's so broken, for lack of a better word. It's whack, just like,
dude, it's like the parameters of it are so incompetent.
It feels like Riot. I mean, it's an automated system if you got instant feedback, but it's like, it feels like they're siding with the bitch, I feel. I don't know.
They're siding with the money because this is how they want to. Look, it doesn't matter how you want to look at it. Their business model is to make as much money as possible. And if they're constantly getting rid of toxic people, which there's a lot of in the game, that's less money that they make. So obviously their parameters of bans is in a way that is just completely neutral.
Maybe they just ban whoever spends less money in the game.
Maybe. I don't know, dude, but I definitely feel like it's very much this very neutral.
Okay, let me give you my hypothetical now, all right? Because this happened literally yesterday. And the reason I say they side with the bitch is because I had, in a ranked game, by the way, a first-time Zoe, who, if you guys don't know, is one of the hardest characters to play, I feel. Well, maybe not hardest, because she's, like, kind of stupid, like, OP, but only if you know how to play her, right? If you don't know how to play her, she's completely useless. You're just gonna look like an idiot,
essentially.
And this guy's playing her for the first time in ranked, and we don't like. I can't tell if he was trolling. Like maybe he does play it and he was just being really bad. But
everyone
then
has their bad game, yeah.
Either way, it's not a good idea to pick a character for the first time in a ranked game. Because there's actually like, you know, people are trying to play serious and win to rank up.
Yeah, and actually
and you're just bringing down the whole team. So anyway, he goes in at like 5 minutes. The Ahri's already like 5-0, the enemy mid laner. And then he's all chatting and typing to us like, sorry guys, it's my first time. Like from the start of the game, he already had told Ahri like, it's my first time, please go easy and all this shit.
Why would you jeopardize yourself like that? Fuck off.
Exactly. And you're just, and I think that's the strategy. He's literally trying to ruin the game, but to make it seem like it's not his fault in Riot's eyes, he's saying, well, it's my first time, so that's my excuse for completely ruining this game for all the rest of you playing.
It's just like...
And so, like, what you can't even report at that point. Like, I still did for inting, and I typed in the thing, like, don't play a champion for your first time in ranked, but that's not going to do anything, according to the Riot system.
Do nothing.
And that's why I say, like, they're going to side with the person who's playing, like, literally lying, as long as they type in the all chat things to, like, make it seem like they weren't in the wrong.
Essentially.
Exactly. And if anything, it's more like, yeah, make it seem like they were in the right, that, like, they shouldn't get punished. And it's just like, wow. I mean, it feels that they should have some way to analyze gameplay.
For sure.
And, like...
But it's just like...
And maybe not, like, at least review if, for example, if it's a 3-man pre-made and all 3 of them report the same person. I get how that, if they were actually trolling, it's good that, you know, you get the instant feedback. But you can abuse that so easily, like what happened to you. There was 3 people on the enemy team. They're against you, and they got you banned, and that's really messed up when you were just, like, not even harassing one of those 3 people, but rather trying to give them, like, constructive criticism.
Exactly,
I don't know, it's
dude. Because it's just, like, I didn't even, like, okay, this is how you think it not logically. Someone who should get reported is someone who is intentionally, like, trying to negatively impact your experience within the game. Someone who is going out of their way to make the game a bad experience for you. That's what someone should get banned for.
It's griefing. Like, that's literally the term for it. I don't know if it came from Minecraft or what, but that's been a thing in all games. Like, if you're griefing, if you're intentionally trying to ruin everyone else's experience in the game, that type of shit should be bannable. Not just like having a banter or like even an argument. Like people fucking argue. That's what I was saying. Even cursing at someone, I feel like in online games that shouldn't be bannable unless you are harassing, like bullying the person, and you can easily check the chats for that, you know, like you can tell in the chat if someone's telling you like I'm gonna kill your family or something, then yes, you can tell that's messed up, you know what. And even that has a certain context,
and even that it kind of makes the mute function redundant, because why would you put the mute function in your game if you're still gonna ban people for what they say in the chat? At that point you should just like at that point it's basically you deciding whether you're just gonna completely tell people like you can't say bad things in chat, which essentially just makes the game really boring because it doesn't You know, people get fucking competitive. I'm not saying that people should be going, I'm gonna fucking kill your mom in her sleep. That's not what I'm saying. But people going like, fuck you, you suck, is not the worst thing in the world. Okay?
Yeah.
Or you remind people that, hey, if someone's fucking harassing you in the chat, there's a mute button. You don't have to listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, like...
No, I think, like, even Tyler 1, like, he's toxic himself, but he knows that, like, other people saying shit can put you in a bad mood, and then you won't play as well. So, like, I mean, he's always been one that will easily mute all, you know, if shit is going bad in chat-wise.
I've done it.
Like, that's an option. You can literally do that. I don't know.
So it feels kind of stupid that they put this much emphasis over what's going on in the chat, rather what's going on in the actual game.
Yeah. And you know what? I think, like, this, to me, has decreased my enjoyment in the game. Maybe not so much, because I've always just mostly played for me. But it used to be that you could just, like you said, have friendly banter in the chat, or even talk about other shit unrelated to League. Like, you could actually just, like, meet people through the game, or just have a friendly chat or banter, whatever it might be. Basically, you could just talk. Now it feels like you can't even talk, or else someone's gonna get upset.
You literally
it's so
showed
weird.
me a screenshot of you in the champion picking queue, just like typing lyrics to a funny song, and someone directly
I have it pulled up, dude.
Fuck up.
I have it pulled up. Okay, so here it is. This is what I typed. All right, I said, "Mix your milk with my cocoa puff, milky, milky cocoa," and then this guy replies, "Shut the fuck up, dude."
And then you replied with like a frowny face.
Yeah, I just put a sad face.
It's so unnecessary.
I have another one. I have another one. I was playing TFT. It's not even League. Like, TFT is supposed to be more chill.
Oh, you showed me that one too.
Me and the top guy, the top two, I'm in the top 2 at this point, and we're running the same composition, which was Shredders.
Yeah.
And I say, "Shredders, am I right?" And he says, "Kill yourself." What the fuck?
It's so fucking weird, dude. Like, how fickle people can be sometimes, where you're just like, hey, I'm just gonna be a funny guy, and they're like, fuck off. Honestly, die. I wish you would hang yourself from a noose while you simultaneously shoot your parents. Go die. And you're like, wow, man. Wow.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel that League just, for some reason, it like pulls in these kinds of people that maybe, like, I don't know what they're like in real life, but in the game, they're just these
bitter,
bitchy little snowflakes,
people,
dude. I don't even, that sounds really mean, but it's like, they have anger in them, and they're not going to say anything until somehow you, like, I don't even know, bro. They just get too easily upset, I feel.
Nerve.
And maybe I sound like that right now, but I just, at the end, I find it funny. Like, I feel like, well, aside from certain stuff, like, I don't know. I feel like we should be allowed to just say more and not care about chat, like you were saying. It should be more. I feel
it should be more what happens in the game.
You should get punished for, you know, like, intentionally ruining games, not for what you say.
Which is Void.
Unless
Void
it is like
saying,
straight up, I don't know. There's obviously the special cases, but
yeah, like no one's gonna fucking take a racial slur. That's definitely bannable. But just like getting into an argument or telling someone they suck, like that shit exists in everything. Even in like
no, I would never
sports.
report people for what they told me. Even like I don't care, bro. That shit's funny, but like it's so. Like,
dude, when
crazy
I reported
that
the guy,
you react that way.
When I reported the guy, I didn't even react him for like what's the one for like negative attitude? I think it was. I reported him strictly for the throwing, for the inting. No matter what, if he insulted me or whatever, I don't give a shit. Like, it affects me nothing that you insult me or tell me I suck. I don't care. What pissed me off was you throwing the game just because I asked you a question. And I didn't even ask it in an insulting way, but you convinced yourself. He convinced himself that I was attacking him by asking him that question. That's what he kept telling the enemy team and kept telling me. No, I only responded this way because you were attacking me. And I'm like, I asked you a question, man. He sounds like a Karen, you know, like a Susan, like the meme on Twitter where it's just like someone speaks Spanish next to them and they pop off. You know, it's just like, I asked you a question and you thought I fucking screamed bloody murder at you? Like, are you serious?
For real.
It's ridiculous. But at the end of the day, I was pissed. I sent a ticket, you know, to Riot. I had read in maybe this is old, but in their policy, supposedly that even if you're like, it doesn't matter who started it or if you're quote unquote in the right, we're not going to remove your ban. But I sent the ticket anyways. They replied with the Blitzcrank bot. Fuck the Blitzcrank bot. Don't give me that bullshit automated garbage. I asked, I need to speak to a fucking agent. And
damn, you turned into the Karen.
I turned into the Karen. I asked for the manager. No! No!
Oh
I turned into Karen. Oh my God.
You didn't realize it until now, did you?
I guess so. But at the same time, man, you know, I didn't turn into
it's
a Karen.
Okay.
Because,
Sometimes we all need to turn into Karen to fight for what's right.
I think like I could read like the exact statements I sent them.
Yeah,
like,
pull it up. I want to hear what Riot said, actually.
I'm writing this in order to appeal a ban that I feel is unjust because I did nothing malicious, nor did I intentionally nor unintentionally go out of my way to ruin the game nor harass my fellow players. All I did was defend myself against quote-unquote a bully. I need to understand how it is you chose to ban me over the person who openly threatened and admitted to running it down mid and throwing a game. I responded to him in chat because I do not think it's fair that a person can decide to throw a match and get reprimanded for defending themselves from threats and defending themselves from their lies in all chat. That was pretty much the gist of it. And I told him, like, does this really feel like something that should be bannable for 2 weeks? I asked him, did I intentionally like try to ruin the game for everybody? No. I continued to play despite the fact that other players chose to throw, and all I did was defend myself in chat. I don't feel like that's a bannable offense. They responded with, after I had to send them two more messages.
Oh, gosh.
Because they marked my ticket as solved. And I said, no, this is not solved until I speak to an agent, and get a proper explanation. You're not just going to reply with the Blitzcrank bot and call it solved. That's not solving anything. I told him, this person gets to get away with what he wanted, and I'm the only one here, like, getting penalized for it. He got what he wanted. I got banned alongside with him, whether it was fair or not. And I told him, he literally openly expressed this, and you're still letting him get away with it. Do you really think this is a good way to handle things? You're encouraging people to continue to behave this way. And then I got some guy called who said, hey there, here, from the game and player behavior team at Player Support. I know this situation is frustrating, so let me help you out. I can see that you're looking for clarification on why you were given a 2-week ban. So let me help you understand how this system works. Also, from what you've told me, I understand that you also had some issues with other players in your game who were also being negative and trolling in your game. Rest assured, I will take a look into the account of the other players in your games and take appropriate action against them. Unfortunately, I cannot share what actions will be taken against them, blah, blah, blah. And eventually saying, like, you don't get to find out whether I penalize him or not. I don't care. Going back to your penalty, I have personally looked into your case, and it appears that you were unreasonably penalized for what was said. It seems that the system saw you send a mass amount of non-constructive messages and were harshly penalized as a result. Because of this, I will remove the penalty from your account and reinstate the honor levels. Which is great. That sounds great, right? But here's where I felt like, okay, this didn't have to get this far. I feel like whenever you're trying to explain something and you continue it with a but, that completely negates whatever you said prior. I don't know if you agree. But they went, however, I will warn you that even if one gets teamed up with someone just being negative, retaliating does not solve the issue and only contributes to negativity they create. Both initiating and retaliating with negative chat both go against our rules. This means that negative behavior, including player insults, is unacceptable, regardless of the circumstances of who started it. If chat logs are the root of the problem, I recommend making liberal use of the mute function. Not just towards other players, but also preventing yourself from chatting, because at the end of the day, only you can control how you play and what you say. That said, in an article we released in 2020, we are working on better ways to implement this system. Bye-bye.
Damn, so they literally told you to use the mute.
Yeah, they literally said, like, hey, no, we definitely banned you really harshly and for, like, reasons that weren't completely fair. And from what I'm seeing, you definitely weren't in the wrong. But, and that's where they lost me. I was just like, fuck
just
off.
Mute
there
everyone.
Is no but.
That's fine.
You're literally doubling back on what you just stated. You openly admitted that there are cases where some people are just wholeheartedly in the wrong, and then you follow up saying that doesn't justify you defending yourself in chat.
Oh no.
It's dumb. It's dumb. But whatever. They released my ban, and I sent my thanks. I didn't even continue to bring it up. I sent my thanks and whatever. I told them I understand that this shit is harder than it is, but I just wanted to bring up that there really are some cases where you have to look at things individually, and you have to look at...
No, yeah, I'm just glad they sent you like an actual agent at least in the end. Yeah. Like they didn't just blitzcrank bot like, thank you, but no.
Yeah. And I think they responded later with like a message saying like, no, yeah, and we appreciate the feedback and whatever. And we understand that there are some people who are more passionate of the game than they are angry, and more angry than they are passionate about the game. Which pretty much sums it up, the two different fields of League. Some people are just pissed.
Yeah.
No, but oh well. I mean, I guess it's solved.
I mean, if the biggest League streamer is always pissed, so should everyone else.
But it was just such a weird case where you kind of just see like how do you say? I'm losing the word right now. It's called the double standard. Mm-hmm. Where you could tell it's just like, yeah, we understand that, there's some people in our community that are complete shit, but they also give us a lot of money, so.
Yeah, I think that's what like the whole community's been going through recently. It's just, how do we like... Because I think everyone wants it to be less toxic, but that's just... I feel that word lately, I've been not liking it. Well, I mean, I never really did, except maybe when it first started in League, but it feels like a...
I feel like nowadays people will label anything as toxic.
Exactly. What is that? Like a catch-all term, you know? Like, no, not everything is toxic, but people will use it for any little thing bad that happens. They're just like, that's toxic. When it's obviously a lot harder to judge than that, but...
Yep. I mean, that's essentially
it's just part of the culture nowadays, man. It's like... outrage culture goes beyond just Twitter,
Oh yeah, that's in everything, dude. That's why I was kind of saying, like, League definitely isn't the only like competitive like multiplayer game where people are just like at the worst sometimes.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, it does feel like I said, like it's kind of sad nowadays that you can't, I feel like, meet people or make friends through League. Like, I don't know. I actually made a lot of friends through League back in the day, and maybe now just because I've already got good friends that I play with, like I don't really need to make new ones, but I feel that it's almost impossible. With like anything you type, you'll be instantly met with like a barrage of just negativity.
That's why I played a lot of Monster Hunter. Like literally recently I had a situation where we made a new friend just playing randomly on Monster Hunter that now we play with frequently, because I just feel like it's the nature of the beast. Like, Monster Hunter within itself is a game that's just very cooperative and people are there to help each other out. But as soon as you get into a competitive space, that's where, like, the roles are reversed.
That is true. Because the only guy that I would say, I didn't even become really friends, but that I talked to on League in the last, like, 3 years was just this one dude who played support. And he actually, it felt like he knew what he was doing. And I've never once had a support like that. So I added him and we played, like, for a couple of months.
People add me a lot, dude, when I play draft in jungle. And I think that's just kind of like a product that like low elo junglers are usually very fucking garbage.
Yeah. A lot of them just don't know how to even play, so they play jungle thinking like, oh, I don't have to lane against someone, so like it'll be easy. But that's not it.
Exactly. And the whole reason I'm even in low elo is because I don't play ranked anymore. So I just take all of these, what essentially would, I guess, quote unquote, be like gold level jungle play, and then I play it in draft, and then people, I guess, are just so excited by the fact that they have an actual good jungler that I get friend requests all the time. I decline all of them, but still.
So what you're saying is we need to solve this issue of you being low elo finally.
It's time to climb.
It's time for the climb.
It's time for the climb. Speaking of that, I mean, we might as well get to it, considering this is
so in summary, your addiction will not be cured. Instead, we're going to go play right now.
Instead, we're going to go play right now. Let's go. Let's do it.